it is here where I am. Of course, it may be Saturday morning somewhere where you are in the world. It may even be Friday night in the wee hours, perhaps. But welcome to this presentation this evening for the new economic evolution of the world. So guys, I'm going to get through here. If we do have any questions, great, that's amazing. Write them down. And then, of course, towards the end of the presentation this evening, we will get those answered for you. Just chuck them in the Q&A chat there. This is an interactive game, ladies and gentlemen, so I will ask for people's participation. You can do that within the webinar chat. Now, I just want to make sure that you guys can hear and see my slides and see me too, if I'm pretty sure I put my camera on, but who knows. If you could just give me a plus in the chat for that, that would be great. And then I'll carry on. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Great to see so many people here and so many faces. Well, names at least. I can't necessarily see your faces, but I can imagine them, so that's awesome. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, I want to run through this very, very quickly before we go any further. This evening, we will discuss things called EIPs, Education Information Products. We'll talk a little bit about MLCI, Multi-Level Crowd Investing. We'll talk quite probably a little bit about the CRU, the Crypto Unit Program, which is an internal token points, essentially, with a digital stock analog. So this is basically how we take stock of things, right? So please pay attention. We do not sell, nor have a license to sell shares or tokens. All countries have their own rules for the sale of financial products, and we comply with the laws of the country. Most countries allow for the sale of international products without a special license, and we're talking about education products, ladies and gentlemen. We do offer the opportunity to participate in a wealth creation education, which provides the fundamental principles on which wealth is created and retained. For this, you get a free gift of either pre-IPO private equity shares or in the innovative transport technology or CRU points in your back office. Now, we do not provide financial advice. We don't offer financial advice at all or investment consultations. So please do your own due diligence and request confirmation from a licensed accountant or financial consultant in your region for the requirements of your state or your country. So now that we've got all that good stuff out of, yeah, thanks Tom, I appreciate that. Now that we've got all that good stuff out of the way, guys, if this is your first time on this webinar, just give me a 1 in the chat. And if you're a returning member, then please give us a 2. Just like to see who we've got out there. All 2 so far. If you're new on the chat, just there you go. There's a 1. Thank you very much, Madeline. Appreciate that. Another one there. On new. Awesome. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate the interaction. You're doing great so far. Don't worry, I'm a little nervous myself. So, you know, you guys can be nervous as well. Not a problem. So for those of you who don't know me, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andrew Hawkes. I'm a father first. I have 3 beautiful children. My eldest now living in London, actually, as an au pair. And I heard some disturbing things yesterday, but that's all right. She's young. She's living her life. She's having a great time. And of course, my youngest 2 are still here at home with myself and my beautiful wife. All of us are heavily involved in this business, the kids included. In fact, Emerson told me that he had his whole class ready to enroll into NEU, which is very, very cool. So I am a representative of the Presidential Council, meaning that I'm on the council that help make the decisions as to the direction of which the company goes. And I don't take that lightly. I feel very blessed to be in that position. And I try to do things with the company's best interests at heart. I am a president in the partner program, of course, that you're going to hear a little bit about this evening. I'm a certified master profi coach, one of only a handful of English-speaking master profi coaches, and Genius of Finance facilitator or host also. I'm a member of the Association World Generals for Peace. I've been in marketing and sales since I left the military 15 years ago. I literally fell into sales and marketing, rose to the top of 2 separate companies within sort of an 18-month period, got poached by the second one. And I am a private investor and have been since I'm about the age of 20. Now, it hasn't always been beer and skittles. It's been a hard road, and I've been through the traps, so to speak. I've lost everything, and I've come back to where I am today, which I'm very, very proud of. I am an entrepreneur, and I'm one of our company's international speakers. So if you go to any of our events, any of our large events worldwide, you're more than likely going to see me there at some stage. So that's a little bit about me. I want to give you a little bit about what we're going through this evening. Oop, that slide's not even meant to be there. So let's look at that one instead. What we're going to go through this evening. Yep. Where was it? No. So I've told you a little bit about myself, where I'm from. I did 15 years in the Royal New Zealand Air Force. No, I didn't. I did 11 years in the Royal New Zealand Air Force. I got out, and it was 15 years ago that I got out, and I fell into a sales marketing role, as I said. Did very, very well in that. Ended up with a cafe and a salon and a reasonably large property portfolio. And that's about when the wheels come off, right before the GFC, and I lost everything. So guys, what we're going to look at this evening is why 10% of the people on the planet control 90% of the wealth. Okay, and this is very real right now. 90% of the wealth is controlled by a very, very small amount of the people, and we want to try and reverse that. We're going to look at what the new economic evolution of the world is. We're going to look at how you can enter the Closed Investors Club, and there's some very exciting developments coming up around that. So make sure you're on the webinar next week, which we'll talk about. We're going to talk about how you can become a co-owner of multinational companies that are growing at a very rapid pace. You know, think of companies like Facebook, Apple, and how big they became after they started so small, and you kind of get an idea as to where we're at. We're going to look at how you can create a multi-million-dollar global business, because that's quite important. And then, of course, we'll go through some promotions and some news that are going on towards the end of here. So let's have a quick look at this. 10% of the money resides in the worker, in the workforce. That's about where 10% of the money is, 10% of the wealth. And in an entrepreneur, they've probably got about 90% of the people. So obviously, there's a high percentage in that left-hand side of the quadrant. So when we think about the entrepreneur, we're thinking about a solo business owner. My father was a self-employed plumber for years. And his business, at one stage, I think he had about 25 people working for him. However, it was never, ever considered big business. And even with 25 people working for him, it was still a headache over and over again. And we never seemed to move ahead. We never seemed to be able to just get past what the bank needed. So obviously on the other side of the quadrant that you can see there, the right-hand side, we've got a businessman that controls 90% of the money. Now that's tied up in systems, right? And of course, then we've got the investor, and there's really only about 10% of the world's population that are successful in that space. And their names like Warren Buffett, Peter Thiel, you know, and big Vanguard companies like Warren Buffett's fund companies, right? So there's a very small percentage there. So our education tries to bring people across that quadrant and into that side where the bulk of the money is kept. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but we are about to come on hard times. Now, the writing has been on the wall for quite some time, and there's been people trying to do lots of things about it. We've seen the advent of digital currency and Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that side of the fence that are moving along. But here's a statistic that you can't run away from. 100% of all fiat currencies have failed over the last 5,000 years. And the one thing that's remained stable throughout that time is gold and precious metals. Now, the interesting thing is that gold hit an all-time high yesterday. Not an all-time high, actually it might be an all-time high, but gold's hit a high. And it's no mistake. And the reason it's doing so is because a lot of the banks are actually buying up gold right now because they know there's a financial crisis looming. And it's going to be the uneducated people that it hurts the worst. So that's why our education is so important. So what is the new economic evolution of the world? It's a great question. Who here is aware of what the new economic evolution of the world is? Give me a plus in the chat if you know exactly what it is. And would be happy to explain it to people. I'm not going to call you out, obviously, but give us a plus in the chat if you know what that is. Plus and minus, great, okay. So guys, the new economic evolution of the world is a global redistribution of wealth. Basically through education, we're showing our partners, our clients, our customers how to get their money to work from them, how to identify what is good and what is not necessarily good, and how they can get that money back onto their side of the plate rather than giving it away so much. There's a lot of safety and security in it. Safety in numbers, right? We're showing people how to do it in such a way that they will retain their capital and hopefully grow it. That's obviously the idea. There's plenty of value added through it. Guys, most of us, we want to be prosperous and happy. However, we don't necessarily know the way to, or the path there. Now, I love what John Lennon said about it, his mother told him that, there is no way to happiness. That one is Buddha. There is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way, right? Obviously, dream realization is a big part of the new economic evolution of the world as well. Now, as kids, we had no problem dreaming. We could do it. We were like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I told my mum I was going to be a millionaire by the time I was 20. It wasn't quite on task. I had almost $1 million in debt by the time I was 30. And I had property and all sorts of other things as well. And then I lost everything. So I really did end up upside down. But I'm on target for that right now, which is very, very, very cool. In fact, if we look at the asset base, it's well in excess of that. So you could all be in that same position. It was only 3 years ago and I wasn't in that position. So that's been all made possible through this gentleman here, Andre Havrato. Now, he is the CEO of the new group of companies, or the TNG group of companies. He is the author and creator and CEO of the Academy of Private Investor. He's a multidisciplinary investor. So what does that mean? Well, it simply means that he invests in multiple different market segments and makes them all work for him. Cool, sorry. I'm just seeing some of the chat that's come up there. He's a multidisciplinary investor, guys, across multiple different market segments. He's the author of the Crypto Unit program, which is obviously incredibly exciting and gaining massive momentum. He is the host of the Secrets of Millionaires with Andre Havrato TV program. Now, it's a program that is published in Russia. He was voted best business coach in the financial and investment personal development in 2008 by Mellon Rich Magazine and Finance Times. Finance Times Journal. He's the chairman of the Investment Council at the International Public Association World Generals for Peace. And he was awarded the Dove of Peace, of course, medal by the International Association last year. And he is absolutely a master of dreams realization. Now, this is a gentleman who has taken 20 plus years of experience and distilled them into a program that literally shows people the ABCs of how to get their money to work for them in a really, really logical sequence. Now, guys, he created the new economic evolution of the world. He started the movement, and that's what we're a part of, this movement. Now, there are three components to the new economic evolution of the world. And the first is education. Education is one of the core, or it is the core, and it's one of the key pillars for us moving ahead, because without education, what's the point? If we don't know how to utilize and grow the money that comes into our existence, it doesn't stay with us very, very long. And I'm certainly testament to that. I got a lot of money in a very, very short amount of time, over about 14 years ago, 13 years ago. And it didn't take long for that money just to leave my presence because I wasn't educated enough on how to make it grow. I thought I knew, but I obviously couldn't put it into practice. The second pillar is co-ownership. Obviously, we educate ourselves on what is good and what is bad, or what is going to benefit us. And then we also look at co-ownership opportunities that are going to match what that education has taught us. And then, of course, the third pillar is business. Now, this looks like a number of different, can come across a number of different ways, and we'll go through that very soon. So let's have a look at the education. Now, we deliver this, as I said, through the Academy of Private Investor. It was established in 2011. Now, it is an online training portal where all of the information that Andre has gathered and gleaned and gained over the years through experiential knowledge has been distilled down into a product that, as I've already said, is easily digestible. Now, it's had over 100,000 students through its doors in those times. In fact, more now since the advent of the Crypto Unit program and, of course, TNG New, and with a variety of training courses. Now, let's have a look at a couple of those. We sell education informational products, EIPs. And of course, they consist of things like the 8 rules of the private investor, first steps of private investing, the 12 developmental levels of the private investor, i.e., where are you? Are you an amateur? Are you a learner? Are you experienced? Are you, there's one, I'm thinking of the slides, there's monkeys there, and they're not really necessarily knowing what they're doing, but what level of investor are you at? We look into that. Of course, you can do this via distance learning, or you can do it in in a presentation, a live presentation. Sorry, just had a slight brain backfire there for a second. It shows you how to turn $1 into $1 million. It teaches you the fundamentals of capitalization, guys. Now, this is a real cool one. You think about, yeah, brain freeze, absolutely, Tom. You think about Albert Einstein for a second. He said the 8th wonder of the world is compound interest. Now, those who understand it will use it, and those who don't understand it will work for those who do. And that's when we look at the basics of capitalization, that comes into play. So we need to know how that works. It shows you how they trade on the Moscow exchange. And of course, the principles are the same. So you can take that and put it anywhere. And of course, there is the 12 fundamental courses for education of the private investor and the online courses as well. You can literally become an investment consultant with the Academy of Private Investor, who would be licensed to go out and actually give financial advice. So slightly different there. There are EIPs in business and personal growth topics. So obviously how you can turn any dream into reality. We spoke a little bit about that. And I certainly know since being with this program and putting the principles into place that I've had results directly from these EIPs. And personally, I've had over 1,000% return in the last 18 months simply by using the techniques that are taught in all of the trainings, and that's mindset as well as the other sort of stuff as well. So you can see what's going on there. Game of life, guys. We're all playing the game of life, and no one gets out alive, but we might as well have fun while we're doing it. And there is a lot of personal coaching and mentoring that goes on with that as well. Genius of Finance Business Simulator. Now, this is a really, really exciting one. This is how you can put all of your investment strategies into play, how you can test whether they work or not. Now, the beauty of this is you can do it without risking any of your own capital, okay? Because that can be scary. You get out into the marketplace and you're finally putting some money up into something, you're like, oh, hold on. You start second guessing yourself. So the more you can play this business simulator, the less you will second guess yourself, because you literally learn what techniques will work and what doesn't. It shows you what to look for and how to avoid the pitfalls. It literally puts the 8 rules of the private investor, or the training of the Academy of Private Investor, into play. These are the principles at work, and you get to test them through this simulator, and it is very cool. Give me a plus if you played the Genius of Finance out there, guys, and give me a minus if you haven't. Okay, Tom, cool. Well, we have to fix that, my friend. Awesome, Bob. Hetty, you haven't? Okay, a lot of people that haven't. Wow. But you want to? Yeah, awesome, awesome. Cool. All right, look, guys, there's a new office opening up on the Gold Coast soon. If anyone's around the Gold Coast, then we'll be running Genius of Finance games there regular. They do run them at Logan as well, which is very cool. We've got a hub office there, which is nice. But very, very cool. If you can get to a place where you can play it, then absolutely you should. It will improve your skill no end. We did actually run a tournament in Belarus about 2 years ago now, which was very successful. And you can see there now, there's actually a global tournament that is going to take place. It'll take place in the different regions. We're talking about a tournament in the office when we open the new one on the Gold Coast as well. So we will, there's going to be prizes up for that. So we're talking about a $500 prize kitty. So it'll be interesting, but these are the things that are going on around the world. And the idea is to have a big global tournament for that. So guys, hopefully you can hear this.
The training game Genius of Finance is a new revelation in business training. In a short time, the training has become popular in more than 20 countries of the world. It received the approval of a huge number of business trainers, mentors, and coaches. What is the reason for its effectiveness? Knowledge does not bring success, only experience gives the result. Under the guidance of an experienced presenter in the form of a game, you simulate the events of real life. Get the experience of investing, communication, and generating new ideas. You are working on your goal in the game. You clearly formulate your goal and work out strategies for achieving it. Vision of opportunities gives you extra results. The game will expand your boundaries of thinking and allow you to notice in life what was previously hidden from your attention.
Awesome, guys. That is the Genius of Finance. It is a great business simulator. And I had to, thank you. I had to ask my wife if she could hear the sound, because last week we had some trouble, but as it turns out, apparently you could. So that's awesome. So let's carry on here, guys. Now, generally when people think about getting wealthy, if you ask someone out in the street, how are you going to become wealthy? They'll give you probably one of two answers. And the first might be, oh, hopefully I'll win the lotto, right? Now, 95% of people who win the lottery they're all broke within 3 years. In fact, they're in a worse off position than what they were before they won it. And they often say, they're often quoted as saying, I wish I never had, it ruined my life. Now, it wasn't the money that ruined their life. It was their lack of education and understanding of what they could do or how to maintain and grow that wealth. That's what their downfall was. And that's where TNGNU comes in. We provide that education to show people what they can do. And the other way that people may get their money is they may inherit it. They may inherit it from their grandfather, their parents. Who knows? They may get a large inheritance. In fact, there's a good portion of billionaires that are billionaires because they inherited their fortune from their parents. Now, generally, they've been in an environment, if they're second generation, they've been in an environment where they're taught the management of money, so they can generally hold on to it. That's not always the case. Often they lose it as well. But if it's first generation, it generally doesn't take long for that money to disappear as well. So that's why the education is so important, guys, so we can know how to continue to grow our capital, how we can make our money work for us, and how we can maintain that wealth, because it's very easy for it to slip through your hands. So the second pillar, guys, we spoke about it, is co-ownership. So let's jump straight into that, of course, and let's have a quick look at this clip here.
The Crypto Unit program provides an opportunity to become a co-owner, stakeholder, shareholder of a global investment portfolio, which works in over 20 segments and sectors of the investment market. The Crypto Unit is a chance for people to change the realities of their lives, do what they love, and live in abundance and prosperity, be important to the community and bring great benefits to other people, solve the problem of class inequality, liquidate poverty and devastation, create the best opportunities which arise once in a lifetime of every person. The Crypto Unit program is what 90% of the people on the planet have been waiting for. Hurry up and claim your chance, your luck, your prosperity. Refer to the person who shared this video with you.
Always love watching that video. You know, 90% of the people, this is the movement that can bring prosperity to so many people, and that's one of the reasons I'm so excited about being a part of it, which is very, very cool. Oh, apparently had that in there twice. I don't know how that happened. Okay, so guys, these are the 20 segments of the market that we are already involved in. Obviously, we've spoken about education, and we are heavily involved in that, right? We're heavily invested in that as well. We've spent a lot of money in making sure that our training is viable, and that we've got the places and the people that can deliver that training as well. Obviously, the multi-level crowd investing sector. Now, that is new, guys. You may think that it's the same as Amway or Herbalife, but it's not. It's very, very different. It is a new field, multi-level crowd investing, and it will be a very sought-after field in the coming future. And the reason being is because it's so different, and because it provides so much opportunity to people. And that's one of the reasons, another reason why our education is important. If we go through and become a certified multi-level crowd investing educator, then you will be a sought after individual. Much like social media managers these days are quite sought after, they can command quite a decent sort of paycheck. Whereas 10 years ago, no one really heard of them. The people that were at the forefront of that were like, shit, there's a shift coming here. If I got in front of it, then I could benefit from it. And those people absolutely have. Obviously, through the co-ownership sector, now that's obviously investing in different businesses and actually owning and running those businesses, and we'll talk a little bit about those. Innovative transport sector, obviously there's a lot of people that got involved with this business originally because of the innovative transport, which is still there and going strong, which is great. There's the banking sector, stock markets, Forex, cryptocurrency markets. Obviously, we're looking very, very closely at that at the moment with our own listed on the Ethereum blockchain just recently. The insurance sector, and I heard Andre talk about something the other night, which is very exciting about insurance for people that represent company and things like that. We will have our own insurance sector within our company, which is very exciting. The real estate sector, guys, if we think back to our innovative transport, they've got the linear cities and things like that. Obviously, they all need land and real estate. So we've got that sector. Innovative development. simply looking at new things to develop. And there's some very exciting things just in the background that are going on at the moment that I'm sure will be announced very, very soon in that department as well. Agriculture and farming, obviously, again, this comes back to our innovative friends with their humus technology. Entrepreneurial and cooperative and social development. That one's an interesting one, guys. We're developing business owners. We're developing people that can go out with a social conscience and make sure they actually have an impact on the world. The science sector, cultural, we're talking about precious and semi-precious metals. I've already spoken about gold. We have our own gold mines. There is a ton of assayed gold in the ground that puts our value at a pretty decent amount already once it's mined, which is very cool. Cultural sector, we've already been through. Semi-precious and semi-precious stones. We've got our own diamond manufacturing plant. In fact, there's an interview on the website right now between Vasalis, I think his name is Vasali, and Armaz that's on there. Go and check that out. It's very, very good, a good interview about the direction of the company and why they went that way and what that means. Space sector and of course charity as well. So let's have a look now at what we've got. One of our business partners, Sushi Master, obviously sushi, Japanese takeaways, very, very cool. From all accounts that I've heard, the sushi is delicious from there. We ourselves, TNG New, have literally just opened our own Sushi Master in Belarus. Alexei Mareshko is out there running that with a few of the team up there, going great guns. Now, the goal is to have 50,000 of these open worldwide. Now, think about that for a second. We've got one open already. We're opening 50,000 worldwide. KFC, they're not anywhere near that. And it made one man billions and billions of dollars when we think about Colonel Sanders. So we can spread this around and everyone can have some prosperity and revenue from that each and every month as well. Now, they estimated the capitalization of that company will be anywhere between 100 and 250 billion US dollars. So that's a pretty good portion in our portfolio. Of course, innovative transport technologies, Skyway, doesn't take much land to build. It's got a market volume of potentially $500 trillion, which is a very, very large chunk of the market. It's very cheap to build, so it's a $5 to $10 million a kilometre to build. It is ecological, it's safe, so there's conservation of nature inside all of that as well. Into the movie industry, guys. Now, I'm not sure if you're aware, but the China movie market and the Indian movie market is huge. It's like 10 times bigger than Hollywood, and we know what Hollywood does. We know how much money people make in Hollywood. Well, now you're a co-owner of a company that produces movies in those markets. And believe me, I've done some of the figures. I've got some friends that are in that market in India, and the figures are astounding, ladies and gentlemen, as to what that can return. You think Hollywood does great? This is even bigger, which is very, very cool. And we're a co-owner of that. There's already been 15 successful projects, and that's part of our portfolio. Innovative basalt technologies. This is one that really, really excites me. If you can think of anything that has a reinforcing bar in it, so any concrete structures, then basalt is going to be there. Any carbon fiber, basalt's going to be there. Steel, so car bodies, basalt can do that too. It's a naturally organic occurring material that we have, and we're about to, in fact, there's another interview between Dimitri and Andre on the website as well right now about the production and when that's going to start for us. So Andre predicts this industry to be worth about $1 quadrillion. Try saying that. $1 quadrillion, which is 1,000 trillion, right? And we expect that we can capture up to 26% of that market. So it's about $260 trillion just inside of our portfolio, which is incredibly exciting when you think about the scope of it and what the full capitalization of that portfolio means. We were talking about $100 trillion, and we can already go twice that with just one segment, which is very, very cool. Obviously, Shikard Card. You can see Sarek there and his business partner. Now, this is a loyalty program with a difference. Obviously, you may have bought coffee today. You may have put petrol in your car. You may have gone to the supermarket and bought ribs. That's what I did. But I didn't get paid for doing any of those things today, and I didn't get a discount on any of it. When Shikard comes into play, and it's already in play in around Kazakhstan, Moscow, it's coming here as well, and it's going to be out worldwide. When it comes to your area, it means that you'll be able to get a coffee at a discount. Not only get it at a discount, you'll be able to get some money in your back pocket. Now imagine sharing that with people. Imagine your friend, your neighbor saying, well, you know, I can get you a discount on this. Yeah, just join this. Or if you know people who are in business and you want to bring them more customers, you'll be able to do that through Shikard. One platform. It's very, very, very exciting. Excuse me. So the value assets in the crypto unit program right now are over $150 million. Now that was based on stats as of the start of this month. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's break that down for just a second. It started with $26,000 in October of 2014. That's crazy, right? So if you did the math on that and broke it down, that's over 150% in growth every day. Now, past performance does not indicate future performance. We know that, but that's pretty phenomenal when you break it down. Over 150% a day for the last just over 5 years. That's pretty phenomenal. And the reason being is because we've looked at what segments we're in, and we've looked at what segments are going to move forward. Now, I always said the easiest way to predict the future is to look at the past. And what I mean by that, particularly in this sense here, if we go back to the Great Depression, we go, well, okay, there were companies, money doesn't disappear, right? It just moves. It transfers from place to place. So even when we have a financial crisis, like the Depression, like what we had in 2008, what's about to happen as well, if you are educated enough and know what's happening and what to look for, you can just position yourself for when that money comes to that area, which a lot of people did in the Great Depression. A lot of people did it in 2008. If you look up the movie The Big Short, it explains it perfectly. So all we've got to do is look to the past. What sectors performed really well in those times? And I'm pretty sure that Andre is very much aware of that as well. And our portfolio has been set up to withstand the test of time, let's say. So what does the crypto unit program provide? It's very simple, guys. You get access to the educational programs that we've already spoken about. You get ownership of the global investment portfolio. Again, pretty exciting. You get a monthly loyalty bonus, varying degrees. You get the opportunity to receive an unconditional base profit bonus or base bonus, profit bonus. Now that is based on performance of the portfolio, but it is unconditional. Everyone does receive that. Regulated and transparent financing, so you can see exactly what's happening because everything is now on the blockchain as well. And you'll see the CRU growth through real assets. And everything that I've just mentioned, the Sushi Master, the Basalt, the gold mines, I didn't even mention the gold mines that we've got. Well, I kind of did. All of those things are all backing our CRU program. So instead of, if we think about Bitcoin, right? 2009, it was worth 0.0001 of a cent, somewhere around there. It was worth next to nothing. Today, it's worth anywhere between $9.5, I haven't checked today, $9.5 and $10,000 US. Okay, now there's nothing backing that except our agreement as to what it's worth. Now imagine if it had something behind it, like our crypto unit program does. It already has over $150 million worth of assets behind it. That's what makes it and gives it its value. So you do have the opportunity to participate in the CRU circulation and in the global merchandising. Now that's in phase 3. That will be incredibly exciting, and there will be a lot of people with big smiles on their faces around that time. So of course, the third pillar, guys, we did mention this, the third pillar is MLCI business. So business opportunities. Now, you know, this does differ a little bit to your traditional MLM. We have an education to sell, and it's something that everybody needs. Whether they know it or not, they actually need it because there are hard times coming. And if we're not educated about that, then they're going to be even harder, right? So you have the opportunity right now to go out and share this opportunity with other people and get monetarily rewarded for doing so. So what have we achieved? Well, from 5 years, 2014, we've got over 1 million partners in our organization around the world in over 150 countries. We offer investment and financial education. We literally show people how to grow their money. I gave you the example of mine before. We've got another partner in our midst. I personally know over a dozen people who left their job in the last 12 months because of this program. I know somebody who was living on someone's couch because they were broke and broken. Within 2 years, they were a self-made millionaire, and of course, they were financially free. That's pretty powerful when you think about all they had was this education and the mentorship from the program. So I think the testament's there for itself. So that is multi-level crowd investing. What can it offer for you guys? Training, unlimited, instantaneous income. Literally, if you make some money today, you're going to get paid today, which is cool. You can build an international business without ever leaving your home if you want to. You don't have to travel. You could do it all from home. If you're a mum and you want something to do at home, because you're home with the kids, or if you're a dad at home with the kids, perhaps you're just over your job and you want to stay home, then you can do exactly that. Or you can literally do it from anywhere in the world. Last week I did it from Sorry, I'm just reading Tom's comment. I did this webinar last week from SeaWorld Resort, demonstrating that this can literally be done from anywhere in the world. Loyalty program until October 21. There's some exciting news coming out about that as well. Watch this space. It is very exciting news that's coming out about that. There's an unconditional base boni profits, which we've already spoken about. The portfolio capitalization, so it's worth 150 million today. Now, remember what I said about Basalt, okay? If we capture just 26% of that market, that's 260 trillion. That's the value now of our portfolio. That's amazing when you think about that. And of course, the global merchandising, when we start selling that CRU on the open market, it'll be, I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be very exciting. So perhaps you want to earn more. Maybe an extra $500 a month would be good. Maybe an extra 1,000. Maybe you're really ambitious and you want an extra 50,000. Great. Whatever you want, it is available there for you. If you follow the system, it's there. You can be part of a global business community. I made the joke in Kuala Lumpur last year. I catch up with the people in this business, the international people in this business, more than I even see my neighbors. Well, certainly that was the truth in the last 2 years. It's been crazy, but I love it. You can become an international business coach and help people from all over the world. I was on a mentoring call last Saturday and had people from all over the place as well. So, and my good buddy Neil, he did a couple of calls the other day, mentoring people in the UK and down here. Just very cool. Be surrounded by successful people. Now, you may or may not have heard the term that if you hang around a barbershop long enough, you're going to get a haircut. And that simply means that if you hang around obviously, if you hang in the barbershop, they're going to go, you need a haircut, and you'll get one. The same thing, if you hang around successful people, if you hang around 4 successful people, then you'll probably be the 5th successful person in that as well. And of course, you want to become financially free and make your dreams come true, then this is potentially the place for you. So now there is a massive marketing campaign that's going on at the moment with the Marathon 260. Now, guys, this is there's a lot of excitement around it, and for good reason. There's really good training and information that are coming out of each and every session. There's practical sessions, there's mentoring sessions that I actually just spoke about. And right now you can get involved with it for 800 units. Now, you can do that over 2 payments, so 400 and 400, and then an ongoing commitment of 100 units a month. Now, that does come with a bonus of 5,000 CRU, so that's definitely worth it, and a ticket to a Venti. Now, that's until the 15th of the 2nd. That's actually until the 29th of the 2nd, but I've just kind of let the cat out of the bag. Starting from the 2nd day of each month, the monthly payment for the second $100 is worth, and you get is due, and you get another 1,000 CRU for that. So you get a total of about 13,000 CRU over the course of it, plus a ticket to a Venti, which is going to be massive value. Now, in order to qualify for that ticket to a Venti and the other extras and goodies that come with it, you do have to attend 55% of it and submit your homework. But guys, that's the whole point. If you do that, you grow and you actually start having the results, and that's what it is all about. So there's a training program coming up, obviously, Foundation of Professional Investing. This is in the Academy of Private Investor. So if you want to become an investment consultant, there is another training that you're able to do with that. And with the licenses that the company is looking for, then you'll be licensed to go out and actually work as an investment consultant in the name of Academy of Private Investor. So there's another lucrative side business there for those who are that way inclined. Pretty cool, guys. It's all there for all of us. So we're going to run now into some promotions and news, guys. Obviously, there are plenty of webinars going on around the place. If you want to know when they are, log into your back office, go to the news tab, and then on the left-hand side in the column, you will see webinars and events. You click on that and it'll give you the calendar of events that are going on. There's another website, certainly for this region, the Asia Pacific. If you go to neewtraining.com, neewtraining.com, you'll also see an events calendar there. Okay, so they're easy to find. There are multiple different languages now as well, which is great. So if you've got people in different countries, find the language that pertains to them and invite them to that webinar. Really, really simple. Of course, on the 19th and 20th of October this year, we do have Eventi in Moscow. Now, we had Eventi in India last year. We had over 15,000 people, which was absolutely phenomenal. This year in Moscow, unfortunately, we don't have an arena that big, so we have had to make a few adjustments there, but we are expecting a big crowd there as well. Eventi in Moscow is going to be very cool. So start planning for that now. And of course, there'll be the usual leadership training that goes on with that as well. So the EIP Gold Anniversary coin, if you haven't got one yet, then you can. 350 of those have been minted and you can get into them in the back office. They are under EIPs, under Gold Anniversary, exactly what it says, EIP Gold Anniversary. It's 35 grams of gold, 24 carats. I've certainly purchased one of these myself. It comes in a nice little commemorative case, as you can see there. Now, guys, you might go 35 grams of gold, about $1,600 worth of gold. Yes, that's true. The representation of it, though, this is what it is. This is a collector's item. This will have a larger intrinsic value than the gold value, simply because what these represent. Now, the idea, and I believe we're on that path, we're on the right track with all of the things that we've already got in our portfolio. In fact, simply the basalt alone, forget everything else, just the basalt would be enough to do what Andre intends here. And that's, this coin is a representation of what the value of what one CRU should be within the next 8 or so years. And that's around $1,600. So imagine if you had 1 million of those, times that by 1,600, it's pretty crazy. Of course, there's no guarantee in that, guys, so please don't take what I've said out of context, but that is the vision. And that's why I believe this is actually one of the coolest investments. And this is an investment, guys. This is outright. You can buy this. It's gold. That's what it is. So it's one of the coolest things our company has done. And I'll be honest, I didn't fully understand it when at first, and I was like, yeah, I'm probably not going to do that. And then I spoke with a few people, and I was like, wow, incredibly powerful. And as soon as I had the conversation, I bought one. So very, very, very powerful. So guys, you're present this week in our promotions. The 150 CRU as a present for registration into the crypto unit has been extended. It's not until the 15th of the 2nd. It is now until the 29th of February. So you've still got another, what's our date today? I can't see it on my calendar here. I think it's around the 20, hold on, let me look over here. So 22nd, so you still got another 7 days to make the most of that. Next Saturday, it will expire. Yep, which is next Saturday night. So the offer is extended for that one, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, the discount has also been extended, 10% when you're topping up with crypto, either Bitcoin or Ethereum. You purchase the full amount. So let's say you're purchasing a $2,000 worth of EIPs. You put $2,000 in, you'll receive an extra 10% on that, which I think is very, very cool. But act right now, it does go away on the 29th of February. So that offer is extended as well. The next one, Marathon 260, and I let that out of the bag before. It has been extended until this offer at $800 entry has been extended until the end of February. But again, you should act on that right now. That offer is extended. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there will be a summary webinar next Saturday night. Andre will be on it. In fact, I believe there'll be 2. There'll be a financial report after the summary webinar at 12 p.m. Moscow time. I believe the summary report will be at 2 p.m. Moscow time. Don't quote me on that second one, but that will come out in the news if you haven't already seen it. I'm sure you'll get an email about it. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, that does bring us to the end of the presentation, but I will open up now for a few Q&A. Remember, if you do have any questions, please put them in the Q&A. And I'll be honest, you have to have a name if you want an answer to any of the questions that are going in there. We like to know who we're talking to. Don't have any latest information on the cards. And the crypto unit machine, I dare say, will be mentioned on the call next Sunday night. And your second question there, Anonymous, and I know I said I wasn't going to, but I will. The company hasn't gone quiet at all. The information is still coming out in the summary webinars exactly when it always has done. People have been very, very busy with the marathon, which is awesome. And that's fine that not everyone wants to do it, but if you want to stay up to date, that's where everything's sort of been updated. Adele, I'm great. Thank you very much. Okay, so a lot of these aren't questions. Done. Hey, Serene, how are you? Do people still do? No. They don't at all. They can just join straight into, Serena, I'm answering your question here. We don't use that term anymore. We use the term TNG new, and they can join directly through CRU. That will change again in March. That's why it's important to make sure that you are on that summary webinar next week. There's really, really important updates that are going to be on that. Some very exciting ones as well, which is cool. But guys, definitely make sure that you're on those. They're really, really important to be on there. Happening with, yeah, cool, great question, thank you. So guys, be very vigilant at the moment, be on the lookout. There is a set of people that have launched another coin on the Ethereum blockchain called it the same as ours, and they are selling it. So just remember, the only place you can obtain CRU is through our closed club from the purchase of one of our EIPs. So if anybody's saying, oh, I bought some of that here, they didn't, they got ripped off, they're probably going to lose their money. So make sure that you're vigilant about that. Make sure that everyone is, hey, thanks, Patricia, I appreciate that. So make sure that you are vigilant in that. That's all it is. There is a news report up on the website, so you can actually go, there's the Etherscan link, so you can go and actually have a look at what it looks like as well. So I've answered that one. Cool, no worries, too easy. Marathon next webinar will be Monday night, Patricia, same time. So the 10 a.m. and 1800, so 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Done that one, can you please link? There will be, Lorna, there will be a link. I'm not recording this, somebody else is. Well, they're supposed to be. Yep, it's been recorded, I can see it here. So that link will go out probably in the next 24 hours. So just keep an eye out for that. Done that. Lawrence, hopefully, the Master Profi, obviously with the marathon, things are kind of just died down on that for a bit, where our focus is on the marathon. Master Profi's having a big revamp, which is very, very cool. I'm very excited about how that is going to look and what it's going to mean. But I dare say we could do something in the US later this year or next year, no doubt. No problem, Lorna, no problem at all. Okay, so I'm just going to go through these chat here just in case there's a couple in here. Yep, thanks, Tom, I will. When's next? Okay, so Patricia, I think I've answered that question. Yep. Cool, no worries, Bob, thanks. Yep, we got that too. Awesome, guys. Are there any more questions? If there are, to quickly ask them now. I'll hang out for another couple of minutes. Hopefully you got value out. Actually, give me a plus if you got value out of the presentation this evening. There will be, again, multiple languages throughout the week, and there'll also be, make sure that you're on that summary webinar next week, guys. Why presidential? Are you talking about presidential council members in India? Sprarik? Thanks, Serena. Appreciate that, mate. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Look, I don't know, mate. If you got any issues forward, here's what I'd tell you to do. Send the same email and CC me in it. If you don't have my email, then message me and I'll give it to you. In fact, most people know it anyway. It's just andrew@andrewhawks.com. So CC me in it and I'll make sure it gets followed up on. So hopefully that gets sorted. Okay, any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? Thanks, guys, for all the pluses. Thanks for all the love. You guys are amazing. You're the heartbeat of this company. Make sure that you keep telling yourself that you're on a good mission and that you guys, you really are doing an amazing job. I appreciate everything you're doing out in the coalface because that's what it takes for us to move forward. keep your eyes peeled. There's a couple of good videos coming out in the next few days. But guys, it's awesome. How does the top up work? I believe so. There's actually an article on the website FAMA that will explain that. So my understanding is, yes, if you would put $900 in, you'd put the full amount and you'd get the discount added to it. So you'd end up with more. No worries, Dana. Appreciate you. Thanks, Arnold. Appreciate you, mate. Awesome, guys. Cool. No worries, Rick. Got that. Awesome, guys. Thank you all. Have an amazing day, evening, wherever you are in the world. Remember, we create our reality. So go out and create something amazing that you love. Okay. You know, if you're not happy where you are, get up, move, do something else. You're not a tree. We don't have roots. So do what you love, guys. Have a great evening. I appreciate you being here with me tonight. And I look forward to seeing you at one of our next live events, wherever it is in the world. If we haven't met, come up, shake my hand. I love to talk to everyone. I love to meet people. So have a great day, good evening. And if you do have any questions for next week, then make sure you get them out so that we can get them answered for you in the summary webinar. Have a great night, ladies and gentlemen. Great day. Take care. We'll talk soon.